Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and happy 4th of July to our American friends, of whom there are many. And we accept your independence. Just got over it in the last 249 years, and we wish you very well today. This puzzle, as you can see, has some stars and it has some stripes, and it has 1776, the date of the Declaration of Independence, I believe. But it's called Index Pennant Day by Rockrat Zero. And I think what Rockrat Zero is doing is hitting someone from the old country with their least favourite type, which is indexing. And I'm sure you'll get to watch me struggle with this, and you'll be glad you broke away. Anyway, I'm looking forward to giving this a go. Now, firstly, and importantly, I'm going to apologise to Scott Strossal, whose puzzle we would have done yesterday had it not been for an eerie coincidence, and who I said we would do today as a result. But we're not going to, because of the intrusion of the 4th of July and Rockrat Zero suddenly sending us this puzzle. So tomorrow will be Scott Strossal's day, and you will see why. And I've already recorded that video, so when in it I say that we did a similar puzzle yesterday, I mean the day before. So when you see comments from people tomorrow saying, why are you talking about yesterday when you did an Independence Day puzzle yesterday? Can you explain to them that I recorded it before doing this? Did anybody understand that? Did I even understand that? I don't know. Don't forget that on Patreon we've got Regeneration, the Sudoku worm puzzle, along with all of our usual goodies on Patreon, crosswords and connections videos and the like. We've got all of our apps which feature line Sudoku and many others, including Fog of War Sudoku, but also the latest Sudoku worms themselves from Marty Sears and James Sinclair. So far, more to come. And yeah, Michael Lefkowitz is due up soon as well. That'll be good. Anyway, we're going to look at this puzzle today by Rockrat Zero, and I'm going to go through the rules. There's also SVEN'S SUDOKU Pad on the links under the video. But the first link is to Index Pennant Day by Rockrat Zero. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 goes in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. The region sum line, the blue one, box borders divide it into segments which have the same sum. Now, red coloured cells. The digit in a red cell gives the placement of that cell's column number in its row. So, if row 6, column 5, that's here, contained a 9, that would put a 5, the column number, in row 6, column 9, which is there. So if that's a 9, that's saying that the 5, because this is column 5, goes there. So we're placing the 3s, 5s and 7s in their rows with the red digit. Now the blue digits are row indexes, so this works differently. The digit in a blue cell gives the placement of that cell's row number in its column. So if row 6, column 4 contained a 9, that would put a 6 in row 9, column 4 here. Now do you see why this stuff confuses me? So if that was a 9, that would say that this was a 6, because it's row 6. And now, stars are odd. And there we go. Those are the rules. Give it a try. I'm going to struggle through it really badly now. Let's get cracking. Let's see what happens. Right, these 3 are all odd because they're stars. Therefore, the sum of the n for the line, the total for each segment, is an odd total. And therefore, odd plus even here, this must be even, this must be even, and this must be odd. This must be odd because it's marked as odd. The same is true for these and this, and I am just going to pencil mark them because, hey, why not? Right. I'm really going to have to think about the blooming indexing. I know. I'm terrified of this. What does it mean? I'm going to have to read the rule every time. So, the digit in a red cell gives the placement of that cell's column number. So this is this column. Now I can understand this. This is a bit like the pink index line. So these are placing the 3s in each row. Oh, this is placing the 7 in this row, and we know where it is. It's in cell 8. Ah, I've got a digit. I mean, it's really easy, but I've done it. This is placing the 7 in its row, and that's in row 2. And that digit becomes a 4 because it's even, so I'm glad I did work that out. Now, the total of these is at least 9, because they've got to be 1, 3, 5 at an absolute minimum. So this is not 1 or 3 now, it's 5 or 9. And the total of the blue line, the n, is either 9 or 13. So these are either a 1, 3, 5 triple if they add up to 9. They don't involve a 7. Oh, that's it. They're a 1, 3, 9 triple. No, they can either add, they either add up to 9 or 13. So they're either 1, 3, 5 or 1, 3, 9. So 1 has to be amongst them, and it has to be there. And 3 has to be amongst them in one of those cells. And that is now not 1 or 3. This has not started as badly as I expected, but it will get worse. Because these were the only 7s, 5s and 3s that we could place. Now these digits and this one, what are they doing? They were weird. Row indexes give the placement of that cell's row numbers. This is placing the 1 in this column. Well, it's not in row 2. So that's not a 2. And it's also not a 4 by Sudoku, that digit. The 1 is either there, there, or there. Well, not there now. It's either there or there in this column. I am going to mark that across boxes. Giving us a 6 or 8, making a total of either 9 or 13. And this is not a 9 anymore. This is either 6, 3 or 8, 5. Okay, that's what that did. Now this is placing the 4 in this column and saying what row it's in. And this is placing the 5 and this is placing the 6. These are very different as vertical stripes from these. I mean, I know that's, oh look, I can place 1 in this box. There it is. And these, that's not a 3 either, because we've got a 3 pencil mark there. So that's 5 or 9, and this is 3. 3, 2, 6, 1, 7. Right. These remaining digits, one of which is red, are 4, 5, 8, and 9. So this red one is saying where the 3 is in its column, in its row. I like the red ones. I understand the red ones. That's an 8. This is saying where the 3 is, and it's either in column 4 or 6. Down here, I just don't know. I don't know how these know where the 3, 5, 7 are in their respective areas. This digit is not a 1 or a 7. That is 3, 5, or 9, and this one's not 3 or 7. Okay. What's going on in this box? This is a quadruple of 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. So that's 2 or 6, and these are from 2, 6, 8. And 2, 6, 8 are a triple up here. And this digit is odd. Oh, that can't be 8 anymore. That's a 6. That's a 4. That's placing 3 in the row by the indexing. Hurrah. I'm managing to understand the red indexing. This is very exciting. That's a 2. That's a 6. Now, do we know the total yet? No, we still don't. Oh, that's so annoying. I don't know whether it's... Oh, yes, we do here. It can't be 13 anymore here. So it's 9. is the blue line total. Oh my goodness, excellent. And almost everything is getting filled in here. That's a 5, that's a 9, this is 7, these aren't 6. Okay, we've got boxes 1 and 3 complete. Feeling good about that. And that's 1 and 3 for the 13 original colonies that bound together to declare independence. How about that? That's a bit of historical knowledge you didn't expect me to have. Okay, these digits are 2, 4, 3, 5, 8, 9. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, okay, this is a weird little thought that I've just had. These are going to place the 5s in columns 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 and 9. 5, 8 and 9. These 3, they're not red, I know that. But nonetheless, because the 5s in columns 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 and 9 are in these rows, these 3 top rows must have 5s in columns 7, 6 and 1. And I was just going to use that, except that's already been proven. And weirdly, these could have been coloured red and they'd have been exactly right. That's so peculiar. Anyway, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a 1 in 6 chance. Now, how on earth am I going to extend down out of those 3 boxes where all the information was? Oh, let's have a look at where the 3 is. It's in column 3 here. So again, that cell could have been red. So these 2 are either actually going to index their 3 or they're going to do each other's 3. I don't know if I'm making myself clear there. I understand what I'm saying. Now, in this column, it's different because this, no, it's not. It's exactly the same. That is a 5 indexing the 7. So these 2 cells, again, I don't know. I find this very confusing. Let's think about. I know the blues work differently because they're. Oh, we got that 6. That tells us this is a 1. I'd forgotten that. Okay. Now, there's a 1 in one of those 3 cells. If that was a 1, that would be saying that 3 was here. Ah, but this is the point I was saying. Since 1 is not in these cells, 3 is not in any of those because 1 here would put 3 there. In fact, if 3 was in any of these cells, that would put a 1 in this equivalent cell here. So 3 is in one of those 2 instead. And then 3 is in one of these 3. And it might match up with a 1 in row 7. Otherwise, either 3 and 1 are both in row 7 or neither is. That much I know. But they could match up like that or like that. I now know this star isn't a 3. Now these are placing 7, so we got the same sort of trick going on. If we had, no, we've got nothing like it. 5, 8, 2. We've got 3, 4, 6, 7, 1, 9. I don't know how to use this yet. Let me just think about this for a bit. These are from 4, 5, 8, 9. That's Sudoku. Oh, the 3 is in one of those cells, and these are placing it. So one of these is a 2, putting that 3 there. Okay. And therefore one of these is a 2. That's just Sudoku at that point. Four, 8, 2, 1. This digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, putting the 3 somewhere in that row. Oh, that doesn't help, does it? These are placing 5s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Now, if there was a 5 here, one of these would be a 2. If there's a 5 here, one of these would be a 3. And the 5 and 3 would refer to each other. Oh, that's so annoying. I suddenly realized that if this cell was blue, it would be telling us where that 5 was. But it's not. There's something I'm holistically not understanding about blue columns. If that was a 4, this would be a 3, wouldn't it? In theory, the 4 that this would be indexing, let me just read the rule again. The digit in a blue cell gives the placement of that cell's row number. This is 4 in its column. So if that was a 4, gives the placement of 4 in its column. So if that was a 4, this would be a 3, yes. And that can't be because of Sudoku. So that's a 9. This is where I'm so slow. Now, we do have a 4 here, and that makes this one a 3 because it's placing that 4 there. I do think that's right. Right, that fixes that this is not a 3, this is a 3. That gets a 2 here. That 3 is indexed from here by a 6. Gosh, I find the red so much easier. It's ridiculous. This digit by Sudoku is 5, 7 or 9, placing a 3 either there, there or there in the row. Well, it's not there in the same box as another 3. So it's in 7 or 9. It's in one of those. Now, we've got a 3 in one of these 3 cells by Sudoku, and that is saying that 5 must appear in one of these cells. And that means 5 can't appear in any of these cells, and this one down here has become a 9 in the star. So that's not a 9. 9, 4, 8. This is a 5 by elimination. That gets indexed from here by a 2. And then we've got a 2 in one of these cells by Sudoku. Now, have any of these, yeah, this is a 6. I don't know. If that was an 8, this digit would be indexing it with a 2. So one of those 2 cells is a 2. I don't know. These digits by Sudoku, they're 4, 5, 8 or 9. They're putting a 5 in one case in one of those cells and in the other case in one of those cells. Five, 3, 1. Oh, by Sudoku, look, where does 9 go in this box? It goes there. That puts 3 here. That limits 2 to this cell. That 2, is that not doing anything else? No, it probably isn't. But we get a 2 down here and a 3 down here. And this is a 4, 7, 8 triple. And down here we have a 2, 3, 6 triple. And this is a 1, 5, 7 triple. And now I do have the opportunity, since I know that 3 happened in the top row to index itself, then I know that this 1, 5, 7 are indexing 3s in this column into columns 5, 7 and 1. Now, it's not actually that helpful. Okay, so where does that leave me? I want, this is 9 is not an indexed row. Oh, goodness. Okay, by Sudoku, this one is 6, 7 or 8. Now what's that telling me? That's telling me that this digit, No, that the 6 goes in either column 6, 7 or 8. So one of these three is a 6. I mean, that's useless, isn't it? Maybe let's try this column. 5, 8, 2, 3, 9, 1. This is 4, 6 or 7, which is telling me where 7 goes in the row. Either there, here or here. It doesn't go here. This is going to tell me, well, one of these is a 7 and is going to bring about a 1 in one of those cells. And that is going to, no, that's not going to have a knock-on effect. That is 4, 7 or 8. We've got to have a 9 in this row. It's got to be in one of those two cells by Sudoku now. And that's not a 9 anymore. In fact, this is placing 5 and it's not putting it there. So it's putting it in one of those two cells. And now this can't put 5 in one of its two cells. So that's 8 or 9 and it's putting 5 in one of those two. This is 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 and is putting 6 in one of the, well, it can't be 4 because that can't be 6. This also can't be 4 because that can't be 5. This is placing 5, so this can't be a 1 either. Actually, hang on, this can't be a 1 either because that would place a 4 in row 1, wouldn't it? That's what it means. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Yes, it is. Neither of these can be a 1 because that can't be 4 or 5. So the only place for 1 in the box is there. That gives us a 1 here and a 9 here. That's not a 1. And this 1 says that that's a 7. That's the indexing of red, which I understand. This 9 is not in the indexing game at all. This digit has become 4 or 8 and is saying that 4 is either in row 4 or row 8. So one of these two is the 4 in this column. This is saying where the 5 is in the column. It's not in this row. So it's in one of those cells, I think. Well, no, I'd better not rule out that one. This is 6, 7, 8 or 9. I've not succeeded in understanding this box particularly. Okay, let's have a think in this column. 1, 5, 6, 8 still to go. Okay, let's have a think down here. 3, this is 4, 6 or 7, just as the cell below it. That 4, 6 or 7 is placing the 7 in this row. Well, it's not in column 6. It could be in column 4 or it could be here. And this is saying the 7 in this row is there, there or there. So these two can't be 7s. I wish that helped a bit more. Now I'm really going to have to move on to the blues and try and actually understand what they're doing for me, which I don't. Oh, look, 9 by Sudoku can't be there. So 9's in one of those cells, which is insisting that either 7 or 8 is down here at the bottom in row 9. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Also, there's a 1 in one of these cells. If it was there or there, well, it can't be here because that would be saying there was a 7 in row 1, which there isn't. But it could be here with an 8 in row 1. Or it could be here because I don't know why not. Well, hang on, that would give us 5, 7, 8 in the bottom row. It's quite interesting. I don't quite get it. This is putting a 5 in 8 or 9. This is putting a 7 in 4 or 7. This is putting a 7 in 4, 6 or 7. So let's just imagine that was putting a 7 in column 6. This would put a 6 in column 6, which would be self-referential. Okay, that's fine. There's a 7 down here somewhere I've just worked out by Sudoku. Oh, if it was there, this would be a 9. Is that possible? Now, let's go back to my issue about how these columns are sort of complete. That 3 is indexing a 7. These are indexing 7s in columns, no, these, sorry, 3s, these are indexing, that 3 is indexing itself. These are indexing 3s in columns 1, 5, and 7. I don't know what that means. There is a 3 in one of these cells, and that is definitely putting 5 into one of these. So 5 and 3 are a partnership in one of these rows. Okay, let's look down here, because one of these is a 9. One of these two is a 9, in fact. That is Sudoku. If it's there, that's putting 7 here. If it's there, it's stopping that being a 7 and putting 7 into one of these cells. Oh, that'd be quite interesting. If that was a 9, that would be a 9, and that would be a 7. On the blue indexing column. So if that's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 7. That must be a 7 because this can't be. That would be a 7. What would that do to 3? That would put 3 here. And that's all based on this being a 9. Okay, let's have a look. If this is a 9, that's a 9. So that 9 begets a 7 here. This 9 makes this 8. Then you've got a 2 there and 6, 7 here. I don't think an 8 at the problem is an 8 at the bottom is a problem. I don't think so. Oh, I don't know. I mean, we're a step away now. We're very close, but I don't quite understand indexing enough, do I? If that was a 4, it's self-referential. If it's an 8, it's saying that's a 4. And then 1 is going to be here. And that would be a 5. And that would put 5 here, which would make that 9. Where did I start this? If that was an 8. That puts 1 here. That itself makes this a 9. If that's an 8, that's a 4, and that's a 1. 8, 4, 1, 2. 8, 4, 1, 2, 3, 9. Everything else is 5, 6, or 7. And they're kind of self-indexing each other or themselves. I don't know how to deal with it. Oh, the 3. We haven't suddenly solved something in this row and I just haven't noticed it. No, I don't think so. Okay. Need to rededicate myself to what's going on here. I just don't get it, do I? I need to oh, this can't be a 9 by Sudoku. Oh, goodness me. Is this the only place for 9 in the box? It literally is. That's just Sudoku. So that puts a 5 here. Right. Did that stop something happening that had been about to? Now, what was I talking? I was talking about 9s down here, and I was also talking about 8 being here. Would make that a 4, and that a 1, and this a 5, which was what pushed 5 there. So that's fine. But these digits are from 3, 4, 5, 8. They are going to put 5s, one of them here, one of them somewhere here, and one of them in this column. I know it's blindingly obvious, but it's not to me. Oh, this is absolutely crystal clear. I just haven't looked at these blue cells from both way rounds. That's my problem. I've looked at blue from both sides. Now, where's 2 in this column? That is a perfectly simple question. If it was there, that would insist that this digit was a 7. And if it was there, that this digit was an 8. So it's not. It's up here. That's a 2. That's an 8. That's going to do some Sudoku and stuff and ting. This has become a 5. That's self-referential. That's annoying. This can't be 6 anymore, so that can't be 7. 7 is in one of these cells. So these are from 1, 2, 5, 6. Now, this can't be a 2. Where's 2 in this column? If it was here, that would require this digit to be 7. If it was here, it would require it to be 8. So 2's not in those cells, it's down here at the bottom, if I've understood this rule correctly. Now, if that's a 5, that needs a 7 here. If it's a 6, it needs a 7 here. If it was a 1, that would need a 7 here. That's not a 1. That's now a 5, 6, 7 triple, and this is a 1, which puts 8 here. That 1, I don't know. Well, there's this other point. 1 here is either there indexing a 3 into that cell, or it's here, which indexes 3 into one of those 2 in a sort of way. I don't know, I think there's something going on that I can't quite understand. Anyway, we're getting closer now. 9 is in one of these cells. If it's there, that's a 7. If it's there, that's an 8. If that was a 5, this is a 6. And that breaks this cell. If that's a 5, it puts a 6 here, so that's not a 5. Oh, that's so confusing. If this is easy for some people. They do say computer programmers understand indexing puzzles better than other people. I never quite understood if that's definitely true. This is a 7, that's an 8. This pair is a 6, 9 pair, I think. Now, what has that told us? That there's a 7 in row 5 there. 7 also tells us about 5. The 6 is self-referential. Here we've got a 7 in row 9. Right, that's all the blue cells done, and I think they're all answerable to each other. So now we've got Sudoku to do. We've got a 1, 5 pair in this row, 9, 2, 7, 1, 5. Everything else is from 3, 4, 6, 8. Which is particularly interesting in the case of this corner. Actually, it can't be 3, 8, or 6. It's a 4. That's why it's particularly interesting. But it makes this a 2, 7 pair. That was why I was actually getting interested in it. This can't be 4. Now, this is saying that 5 occurs either in column 3 or column 8. Not all that helpful at the moment. Let's get rid of the corner marks here and put in 1, 5, 8. These are 3, 6, 9. and I know where 9 is. It's definitely here. This digit is saying that either in column 3 or column 6 we are putting a 7. We're not doing it in column 6. So we're going to put the 7 in column 3, there. I think we've got enough wherewithal to complete the puzzle now. That's a 6. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light, proving its position. 5 in the star. 8, 1. This is a 6 by Sudoku. I can do these by just reading across the rows. Now, that is an 8. 3, 4, and I believe that is a completion to index pennant day. There we go. Fantastic. Oh, I'm so pleased to have got through that. And I started all right. It's weird how I completely understood the red cells because we've done 159 puzzles like that. And I really struggled to understand the blue cells. Is this sort of Captain America shield we're looking at here? Something a bit like that. Anyway, index pennant day it was, and happy 4th of July to those celebrating. Does it say 7-4 somewhere in the puzzle to celebrate that? I guess you'd have to read it upwards there, for instance. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and definitely Scott Strossal tomorrow. Bye for now.